How are you? Good to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
Good to see you guys again. Second Fantastic Beasts. I mean, I was watching it and thinking, you know, it's such thrilling information about all the characters, but there's not a book to just, you know, go back to, you know, at night, like secretly to get the information from. So how does it happen on the set? Do you all try to have lunch with J.K. Rowling?
We do try whenever she is on set.
Everyone takes a number.
Yes.
Yeah, waits in line.
Number 597, and then they come up and they...
You get 30 seconds.
You get 30 seconds. You just have a little bite with her, and then she try to glean some information.
Out there.
She's gone. Where'd she go?
Well, you know, she's the big wizard.
Yes, exactly.
It's true. It's true. No, we do all try to get as much information as possible, but she's very good at keeping, protecting the secrets, which is #protecting the secrets. Yes, which we're all like, what happened?
It must be so thrilling to get the script, technically, in your hands, right?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
It's quite a last minute. I don't know if it was like on the first one, but
Yeah, it's
for this
always
one,
last minute.
Yeah, it was like 5 days before shooting. Maybe we got the script, and you were frantically reading it. And but I think actually the way Joe plays it is brilliant, because obviously she's like a living legend, and everyone gets a little kooky around her, and she knows how to come in and finesse it and be like, hey, like, and give you encouragement. But really hands it over to David Yates, and it's David Yates' film, and that's important. You know, he's the director. He creates the safe environment on set that we can play, and yeah.
Yeah, and he and Joe have a really beautiful relationship too, because they've been doing so many movies together, so they really understand each other. And so, you know that any concerns or questions that we have is going from David to Joe, and then he's bringing answers back from her, and there is because she's very busy, but there is a lot of communication back and forth.
I would have never expected the turn of events, especially of your characters. I mean, we don't want to divulge too much because that's part of the beauty of it. Yeah, hashtag protect the secret. But did you expect what was going to happen?
Oh, I didn't.
Anything?
Yeah.
Did you have anything in mind about it?
I mean, I had a sense that we were going to be put through the ringer, which always makes for a good adventure. You know, you don't want it to be too easy.
But yeah, otherwise they'd just be baking, you know, baking pastries and making babies. Like, that would be the rest of the films. There would be nothing else for them
to
do.
Like mad drama, and then cut to
and then just cut to us and the baker, and we're just like singing and cooking.
Birds chirping.
Yeah.
I think that could be a standalone musical, though.
Exactly.
Totally.
There should be.
Yeah, just the happiest musical. Except for Queenie reading your mind and you being every now and then like,
like too many cookies, Queenie, too many cookies.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
But I think in their psychology, well, too many. No, sorry.
No,
it's
you're
baking.
good. No,
it's
you're
not
fine.
cookies. It's cakes and croissants in this case.
Cookies are great.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're in America. Cookies are important.
We're in London.
We're currently in.
Biscuits are.
Yes.
Biscuits and tea.
It sounds wonderful. I haven't had a biscuit in a year now.
Really?
Yeah.
Snap your finger.
Wow.
You're in London, mate.
Bam.
Snap your finger.
I had one last
You're
night.
in London, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you star as Newt Scamander's brother.
Yes.
New character.
New character.
How much can you research? I mean, because the thing is with J.K. Rowling's universe is there's a family tree somewhere. So do the Scamanders have a family tree?
Well, actually, when I got the sides through, it said like Theo, and I kind of knew that it was going to be, and like, I think the brother's name was like Niall or something, and I was like, all right, let me just, it's obviously Newt, and then so I googled and it was Theseus, and there's so much, you know, backstory, there's family trees, family like dad, how that all stuff happened, and school we went to, and but actually once you do that, it's about the magic and everything, grounding yourself in that world, and then finding the space to play. You know, I have to forget that you're in a Fantastic Beasts movie, because otherwise that would be really overwhelming. And again, the space that David creates, it's all about the human story and the through line of the characters. And that's why we love these films, you know, because we've got the magic and the world and the fun and the beasts, but then we've also got really relatable stories.
Yeah, exactly.
Human
and
stories.
Then you really get invested in them, and then you really want to know what's going on. And then, you know, those sets are just incredible. I mean, I'd love to be a fly on the wall on them. I went to a Harry Potter one once, and it's really incredible.
Which one were you on? Which one?
I was on the Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Oh, cool.
But, you know, they're just iconic.
Was that Stuart then as well?
Probably.
That was, what'd you say, Stuart?
Stuart.
Oh, yeah, probably. And David, right?
David, yeah.
Yeah, no, David
It's
did
the same
the last
team.
4, I
Yeah.
believe. So was it bigger and better this time, or the universe stays the same, there's just new stuff?
I mean, the scale is gigantic, and it's both gigantic and very detailed. And so you can't really compare it. Like we had, the sisters' apartment in New York, and the first one, which was small but so intricate, and there was so much to it. And then you have like Newt's apartment this time.
And they're similar.
the-
The two apartments are kind of.
Yeah, they are. They have a similar vibe, but they're also very individual. And then you have these grand sets of like Makusa or the Ministry of Magic in Paris, and they're huge. Like they're like
The Ministry in Paris is a spectacle, isn't it? I mean, it's like it's a slope that goes around like that, and it's huge.
Yeah, it's very high design, isn't it?
it's very
Yeah, each set is
phenomenal.
a spectacle, man.
yeah. So
Amphitheater. They built Paris.
yeah,
Built Paris, yeah.
yeah.
Flew in croissants.
For the pleasure of the characters,
Oh my God.
croissants are.
No, it's for a scene though. The scene was actually.
Right, we got that.
We shot a scene like over like 15 days, and it didn't make the movie.
Oh,
everyone
really?
was eating
Well, hey, you
croissants.
never know exactly.
15 croissants, 15,000 croissants were eaten during that.
in the making of the scene.
Yes, exactly.
So you never actually went to Paris, or were there some scenes shot in Paris?
We went to Paris about 3 days ago.
Yes, for the premiere, right?
Yeah. It was
Yeah, we never touched.
We didn't. I mean, it's such a specific world, and they needed to create Paris in this era, but it's like the magical version of it as well. And plus, our production is so big, and there's just so much to it. But we were all trying to channel the spirit of Paris as much as we could when we were there, because
I guess that's what the
it
sets lend us, though. They just give it to us for free. It's so, you are there, like, one of the streets, it's so long, and I don't know, 500 foot, and there's shops that are legitimate shops.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're not open for business, but they're built that way, and even in the till, there's receipts, and everything's so detailed and immaculate. You do feel like it's like what you say, it's like old Hollywood. It is.
Yeah, it feels like old Hollywood. They're building everything.
yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
May I say how frustrated I was at the end, because it left me completely,
Because you
on
wanted
my thirst to
more.
know much more.
Good.
The same with
Yeah.
you guys.
That's
I'm the same. I'm the
yeah,
same.
yeah. It's not a oh, everything's tied up now, I can sit pretty for 2 years. Yeah. We're all like, what is the script?
And again, there's no book that you can go and cheat with, right?
Nope, no cheating book, no.
So what do you think audiences love most about these universes? I mean, technically, it's captured the world's imagination for all the Harry Potter films, and now it's continuing on Fantastic Beasts. There is something about it that's quite unique, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. We're all like, who's gonna go? Who's gonna take? You can go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it makes it's very tangible. Like, who hasn't wished on a star? I have wished on a star specifically for this franchise, or it's real magic exists, and people are fascinated with it. I think people get a little taste of it every day, or a little bit subtly in everyday life, and they're just like wondering, is there something more to this, and then this is also the hero's journey. It's ingrained in mythological stories we've been telling since the beginning of time. Harry Potter is the search for the mother and the father, and this is so this is part of that lineage.
Yeah.
And here we are with these archetypical characters, and then what she does is take that history that's ingrained in our DNA, and then she makes it incredibly tangible. She makes it literally the kid next door, and so I think people. That's why it's so that it's part of the zeitgeist, and people feel like they own it because people have read it. People learn to read on it. It's a very classy franchise we're involved in here.
I'll
It
say.
is the classiest.
It's the classiest franchise.
Yeah.
But also, it's like it's
families,
adult enough
yeah.
for kids to feel like it's not a kid's book, and it's childish, but it's like kiddie enough for adults to be like lose themselves in the world and the magic of it all.
Yeah, no, it's true. And for you, just quick.
I feel like the idea that magic is possible is deeply, I think, fundamentally like a longing for those of us who have that need, and especially in this world which is so tumultuous right now, and it's very chaotic and it's confusing. I think these stories help us see through a metaphor like where we're at and who we can identify with, and the struggles that these characters go through. We can see ourselves in these different situations, and the decisions that they make, and I think it just helps us feel not so alone, and Joe's really wonderful at doing that. And then it's also a world where people outside of it, there's a fandom that's so strong, and people, I've met people who had, like, they met their best friend online through it, and like it's like a very, very devoted fan base, and there's something really beautiful in that it extends into the real world as well in a really tangible way.